So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many thousands face the same challenges every day and solve them with Globus. So what's Globus? So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. So how can you get started using Globus? Anyone can use Globus right now for free to transfer files between Globus-enabled systems. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service.
Yo. 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 What up, though? How we doing today, folks? How we doing? It is Friday. And Friday means Arun. Arun should be on a little bit later. And Today we are going to be talking about sorry, temporarily distracted. This is what's popping off in Twitter land today. And oh, it's already at the top. That's why. and this is like tip of the iceberg kind of thing. So let me fire up this video. Watch this video in case you're not aware of it, and get you up to speed and all that. Window capture, do the thing. Trigger warning, debate bro shit, but it's still good.
The world's most powerful investment bank is a great vampire squid wrapped around the face of humanity, relentlessly jamming its blood funnel into anything that smells like money.
Okay. This is getting ridiculous. Why is it so quiet? Why am I having sound issues? Why do my sound sliders keep moving? All right. Anyways, from the top.
The world's most powerful investment bank is a great vampire squid wrapped around the face of humanity, relentlessly jamming its blood funnel into anything that smells like money. That was how, in 2009, Rolling Stone journalist Matt Taibbi famously began The Great American Bubble Machine, his 10,000-word expose on Goldman Sachs and its considerable economic influence at the height of the Great Recession. The vampire squid was an indelible image, and it was textbook Matt Taibbi. If you were like me back then, you loved reading his blistering takedowns of America's worst villains. In 15 years at Rolling Stone and in occasional NBC and MSNBC appearances, Taibbi won lots of fans and awards for skewering anyone who shafted the little guy from K Street to Wall Street. But if you listen to him these days, he's telling a different story.
I spent 10 years covering the aftermath of the 2000.
Now, I can't say that I know Matt Taibbi, but he and I have actually directly interacted. We used to have a hometown newspaper called the Buffalo Beast. In the Buffalo Beast, Matt's articles would appear, and I argued with him on more than one occasion in the letters page. It was mostly around the the early stages of the Iraq War, and like that. It would. So the point is that he's been shit the entire time. Sometimes he took shots at other people we didn't like.
Financial crisis. That was obviously a very serious issue, but this Twitter file story and what we're looking at now and what we're investigating now, I don't think there's any comparison. This is by far the most serious thing that I've ever looked at, and it's certainly the most grave story that I've ever worked on personally.
Yes, the Twitter files, quote unquote, 19 releases of select internal Twitter documents provided to Taibbi and other reporters and activists after the social media site was acquired by tech billionaire Elon Musk, remember him? Which made seemingly explosive claims about the politicized blocking of the Hunter Biden story, as well as allegations that Twitter shadow banned conservative accounts without cause. According to Musk and Taibbi and his reporting colleagues and the Republican House majority, those files show Twitter colluding behind the scenes with feds, NGOs, and yes, Democrats to silence critics, a new woke McCarthyism through digital censorship.
Democrats used to care about protecting First Amendment free speech rights, too. Now it's like, okay, if you're attacking, and I said this on the House floor, I said, don't think they won't come for you. Oh, the big tech, big media, cancel culture, they may come for Republicans and conservatives now, but the mob is never satisfied. They will keep coming.
But critics say the Twitter files don't come close to making that case, and that they also are a product of questionable journalistic ethics, gifted to Taibbi and others by a billionaire with access and a right-wing political agenda, and then rapidly weaponized by conservative media with little regard for the facts.
The Republicans have brought in 2 of Elon Musk's public scribes to release cherry-picked, out-of-context emails and screenshots designed to promote his chosen narrative, Elon Musk's chosen narrative, that is now being parroted by the Republicans because the Republicans think that these witnesses will tell a story that's going to help them out politically.
All right, hold up. I think I might have found something. What up, Greycraft? Okay, let me turn a bunch of shit down real quick. I don't blow out your ears. And
is the Twitter files story as big, as damning, as revealing as its proponents claim? That's what we are going to debate today. Because in some ways, Matt Taibbi has become the man of the moment, with nearly 2 million Twitter followers, tens of thousands of paid subscribers to his Substack blog, and Republican lawmakers hanging on his every word. The man who used to gleefully heap abuse on the outrage industrial complex on Fox now appears regularly on that very propaganda network he once so wonderfully lampooned. Oh, and that video you saw earlier of Taibbi testifying in last month's Republican-led hearing on the weaponization of the federal government, he says that on that day, the IRS visited his New Jersey home to tell him 2 years of tax returns had been rejected. We reached out to the IRS, but they say they can't comment on individual cases. So, late last month, Matt Taibbi asked me on Twitter, where else, to invite him on the show to debate the Twitter files and free speech and Elon Musk. Now, I've mocked him in the past for doing PR work for the world's richest man, and he's accused me of being an ardent establishment moralist. Great line. But today, I hope we're going to avoid the name-calling and keep it civil as I put my questions to him. Matt Taibbi, a National Magazine award-winning journalist who runs the Racket News Substack and broke the so-called Twitter files story, joins me now. Matt, thanks so much for coming on the show. Why do you believe these Twitter files are so important, and what should our viewers know about what's in them that they don't know? Just briefly, your top lines.
First of all, I never said anything about woke McCarthyism, so do you want to take that back?
I didn't put that in quotes. I said a so-called woke McCarthyism. Jim Jordan has also talked about that, and that was a line into Jim Jordan. But happy to say that you haven't described it as McCarthyism. You've described it, I think, as a digital censorship complex. Industrial.
I said digital McCarthyism, not woke McCarthyism.
Okay, digital McCarthyism. We can correct that, yes.
Okay, good. So you started off, as I expected, with the whole "what happened to you, man" routine. Well done. So, yeah, these are, I think the rest of the stories speak for themselves. I don't have to talk about how important or not they are.
Like, my man is going to get so deep in the debate bro shit, it is not even funny. Like, Matt, this is like, like, those of us who have been on Twitch, like, we understand what debate bro looks like. This is straight debate bro. You'll see.
The audiences are interested in them because of what they show. That there was an organized, systematic structure in place for the FBI and the DHS to talk not just to Twitter and to forward thousands of moderation requests to companies like Twitter, but also to virtually every other social media platform. This is essentially an organized system of quasi-state censorship, and it's alarming. It's a lot more than what we thought was going to be there. And again, people are just looking at what we found. We don't have to make claims about it. They're upset about it because of what they're reading.
Well, not everyone's upset, and you do make claims, so let's talk about that today. And Matt, we're going to disagree a lot today. You've already started with disagreement, so let's start with some agreement. Should the FBI be wasting so much time and taxpayers' money flagging so many tweets to Twitter? In my view, no. Does the FBI have far too cozy a relationship with social media companies? Yes, I agree. But do your files provide evidence of government censorship? I don't think so. Let's just take the very first example you cited in the very first thread, which went mad viral. You wrote, by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team. The reply would come back, handled. Now, that sounds bad, but aside from the fact that the Biden team was not the government at the time, it turns out that at least 3, maybe 4 of those 5 tweet URLs that you linked to, that they linked back to non-consensual nude images of Hunter Biden. Why was it wrong, Matt, for the Biden campaign, not the government at the time, to ask Twitter to enforce its own terms of service against people basically posting revenge porn? Do you understand why people question your credibility on this whole project when you omit such crucial context right from the get-go?
First of all, the reason that's important is because the ordinary person can't just call up Twitter and have something taken off Twitter. If you put something nasty about me on Twitter, I can't just call up Twitter and talk to the government liaison, whose name I won't mention on the air, and say, hey, can you take care of this? And have them take care of that. That doesn't work for the ordinary person. The Biden campaign could do it. Donald Trump could
you're not an ordinary person, man.
But I can't do it. Can you do it? I don't think so.
You didn't answer my question. Why didn't you tell us what were in the URLs? Because it sounds much worse than it is. When you discover that actually it was simply a violation of Twitter's terms of service, that these were nude, non-consensual images for Hunter Biden, why not mention that? Did you not know? In which case, no. That's kind of incompetent. Or did you know and you were just hiding it from people?
Incompetent?
I mean, if you didn't know, if you put up
MSNBC. My God, you got 6 consecutive years of just screw-ups on the Russia story.
Well, that was predictable. If we're going to do predictable. Can you answer the question? Did you know what was in the URLs when you posted them? It's a simple question.
What was in the URLs?
Why didn't you tell us?
I don't need to.
Because you don't think it's relevant? That it's a violation of Twitter's terms of service to have nude pictures of Hunter Biden up?
Look, every time they make a request to Twitter, they're doing what you're arguing. They're making the argument that, oh, we're not actually asking, this isn't censoring, this is just the government pointing out that
that's what the emails show that you posted. They don't demand anything, do they? They say, can you check if this is in line with your terms of service? And those URLs weren't. So I'm wondering why you wouldn't mention that.
First of all, the government, I can't even report that yet. All right. When they're doing this.
And what the fuck was that? Right? That's some bullshit. That's some I'm hiding some shit in my back pocket kind of bullshit. Fuck Matt Taibbi.
It's self-evident what they're doing, and I don't have to make claims about what it is. I can just show you what they're doing. Everybody knows.
But you didn't, Matt. That's the problem. You didn't show the world that the Biden campaign asked for nude images. You didn't. Other people pointed out what those URLs were. You never did. And that's the problem, Matt. There's a lot of omission.
There's a lot that I wrote. Am I going to describe every single thing that I published?
That was the first Twitter file and the most viral tweet. Noam Chomsky, who you know and I know and we like,
said, about a subject you guys screwed up.
Said one of the. We'll come back to that. Has said one of the greatest forms of censorship in the media is censorship by omission. You've heard that quote. There's a lot of omission in the Twitter files. A lot you and your colleagues don't tell us. You mentioned in passing, for example, in your very first thread that the Trump White House made requests of Twitter too, i.e. the actual government, not the Biden campaign. But you didn't tell us what those Trump requests were. It took an actual Twitter whistleblower. Well, it took an actual Twitter whistleblower in front of Congress to reveal that Trump once demanded Twitter take down a mean tweet about him from the model Chrissy Teigen. Yet you didn't mention that in any of your Twitter files posts.
Because I didn't have that story. I don't have it.
And if that's not a confession of incompetence and how he was spoon-fed exactly what to report on, it's like, come on, dude.
I'll tell you something, that you had the Biden story and not the Trump story, that Elon Musk was giving you one side of the story.
No, you don't understand. First of all, that first batch of files resulted in the firing of Twitter's general counsel.
And?
We were looking at something on a very short time frame, but we didn't have it. I went out of my way to report that. I was the first person who reported it.
Like it's like an adult taking out a toddler. What up, bipedal beatbag? It's now in the congressional record that Chrissy Teigen called Trump a pussy ass bitch. Yeah, like I love that. Like motherfucker is in the congressional record. Like this has been a wild 6 months.
That Donald Trump made requests and had them honored on Twitter.
But you outlined which
my
ones the
job.
Biden team did without giving full context, but you didn't outline which ones you did. Well, maybe you should ask yourself why it is you didn't have it. Let me ask you this. A lot of your own Twitter files reporting shows top Twitter employees
They don't
struggling.
have it either, by the way. The whistleblower in Congress didn't have it either.
I know, but she did say under oath that this actually happened, so you can accuse her of what you want later.
I don't have to accuse them.
So it sounds like you are. Out of interest, Matt, the emails you show really difficult content moderation decisions. They don't show Twitter rolling over. They show people actually having really interesting discussions, unlike now where Elon Musk just dictates that NPR is state affiliated and it happens overnight. They also show Twitter resisting requests to things that members of Congress have asked them to take down.
And I don't know if you missed that. It went real fast. I'm going to back it up so you can hear that.
Content moderation decisions. They don't show Twitter rolling over. They show people actually having really interesting discussions, unlike now where Elon Musk just dictates that NPR is state affiliated and it happens overnight. They also show Twitter.
Okay. Elon Musk had NPR updated to, like, if you go to Russia Today, it says, like Russian state-sponsored media. NPR says U.S. state-sponsored media, right? And like, I'm not getting into the arguments of that, but the point is that Elon wanted it to happen, and it happened. And the reason that's relevant will come up later when I'm talking with Arun.
Resisting requests to things that members of Congress have asked them to take down, members of the FBI. So I wonder, how do you call this a censorship industrial complex when Twitter, according to your own files, is saying no a lot of the time? I mean, if it was censorship, they'd have just rolled over every time Agent Chan of the FBI or Congressman Adam Schiff made a demand, but they didn't.
I published an explicit tweet which describes Twitter's internal ads policy, where they say publicly, we are going to represent that we make these decisions at our sole discretion. Internally, we are going to act when the U.S. intelligence agency, the U.S. intelligence community, that's the quote, when the U.S. intelligence community determines that an account is linked to a foreign malign threat actor. So they're talking about their two-phase system in the document. Now,
but your words, Matt, you say, to their credit, they turned down requests. You say it yourself. Those are your words in the Twitter files.
Yeah, they did, but this is a story that has multiple layers to it. The government is constantly applying pressure to these companies. It starts with a baseline of them not wanting to be engaged at all with.
And like, this is Matt Taibbi. Woefully unprepared, right? Like, I mean, no shade. Not everyone is ready for a debate, but like, oh yeah. But yeah, like, is there a concern for governments pressuring social media to remove content that they don't like? It's absolutely something we should be aware of. The problem with Matt Taibbi's credibility is that what he reported on was very clearly biased. Like, I mean, there's no the only question somebody might have about that is if you're like on the, conservative right wing of the spectrum, right? If you're anything other than that, then you obviously recognize that it was biased.
With the government, or to have a very limited relationship. The door gets kicked open when in 2017, particularly in the fall of 2017, when the Senate Intelligence Committee starts leaning on Twitter to endorse their accusations that there had been a substantial number of bots linked to Russia's Internet Research Agency. And essentially, it was made plain to Twitter that they would both be subject to lots of bad press and perhaps increased regulation if they didn't communicate with the Senate Intelligence Committee in the way that they wanted.
But communicating is not rolling over, Matt. All I'm saying is I don't see the evidence. If I saw evidence... They didn't. Adam Schiff says take down a tweet, and they don't, according to your own files.
What's Adam Schiff going to do? Is Adam Schiff the CIA? Is the CIA going to come to Twitter and say?
So do you have evidence? So do you have evidence that the CIA demanded a tweet got taken down and they did it immediately? I haven't seen it.
Well, we think it's the CIA.
Is the CIA in the room with us now? No, I get it. The CIA they're the CIA. Shout out to whoever from the CIA is watching the stream, because I talk about AI. So whatever federal agent is watching my stream, hey, thanks for the number. But like, you know, I feel like the left, right? Little left wing critique right here. I feel like the left kind of overplays the CIA in what they do. They do a lot. I'm not denying that, and I'm not saying in any way that they don't do coups like it's cool, but like I feel like the CIA, you could better characterize what they do in these countries is they find right-wing elements and then they provide funding, right? And those right-wing elements are already there. You know what I mean? Amateurs call the CIA, the pros call out USAID. Like, I mean, the US does a lot of fucking shady shit to support, you know, governments that will be amenable to their positions. But, like, I feel like the left kind of overplays CIA a bit. But that right there, that way we think it's the CIA. It must be the CIA.
That quote unquote other government agencies were. We know that the CIA was present.
You think it's the CIA? You began the interview saying you don't make claims; it's just evidence. Okay, let's talk about your evidence, Matt. Because as I say, people.
You're totally fine.
If you're going to do this, quote me directly.
What am I quoting? You just said this, we think it's the CIA. I said I haven't seen a single Twitter file where the CIA tells Yoel Roth to take it down.
We showed reports that came through the Foreign Interference Task Force. We know it came through the FBI. We know that's the destination by which it came. But the origin of the document, we couldn't determine because, and there's lots of these. We have hundreds.
There are lots of these, and Twitter doesn't deny that they take stuff down, right? Twitter put out a report in
Caroline, and you're going to let me answer the question because you're accusing me of getting this wrong. So these documents, I went out and I talked to every former intelligence person from every agency that I could to try to identify where these documents came from. And I ended up quoting, I think I quoted John Kiriakou and I think one other person is saying that looks about right. Because the people that I talked to thought that this was probably, a CIA document. They thought that it looked like that. It could have been from some other agencies, but I did what I put the document up and I said,
my dude would not last 5 minutes on a Twitch panel, right? Like, you have no call to be putting yourself out there and like, not 5 minutes. What up, old lobster?
This is what it looks like. This is what these people thought it was. I've reported that other people talked about OGA. That's.
And I'm not, Matt, just to be clear, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing any of that. I'm saying there's no evidence that the government is ordering Twitter to take a bunch of stuff down and Twitter's agreeing to everything. Twitter, hold on, let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish. Twitter put out a report
right after
in
the
2021,
video,
as you know, which must shut down, a transparency report where they said the government asked us to take stuff down, and we took down 40% of what we were asked to take down. They've never denied that they take stuff down. Yeah, I think it's serious. I think if you were right, it would be 100%. The fact that it's not 100%, the majority of stuff they turned down, doesn't tell you there's a censorship complex. I don't understand how it.
I
do I think it's serious that they take down 40% of stuff? Maybe, but that's not. Nothing you showed. It's
called a delay, my dude.
The agent from the FBI sent emails saying, "Hey, do you mind taking this? Do you mind looking at this and seeing if it's in line with your terms of service?" That is not the police state that I think is being painted by Jim Jordan. By the way, you said about factual inaccuracies, Matt. Let's talk factual inaccuracies. Stanford. You talk a lot about the Election Integrity Project in the Twitter files, which Stanford and the University of Washington founded to monitor attacks on our elections. And you say some stuff about them that a lot of your critics say is not true, and that affects your credibility. You said the EIP was founded in response to the government dropping its proposal for a disinformation governance. Well, there you are. We're quoting you on screen. It wasn't. It was formed 2 years earlier. You suggest it was government funded, even though during the 2020 election that you're covering, it wasn't. You say they labeled 22 million tweets as misinformation in the run-up to the 2020 vote. They didn't. They flagged 3,000 election misinformation tweets for labeling, so you were only 21,997,000 off. And you also claim the EIP was. Let me finish the question. You can come back in. You also claim the EIP was partnered with the government Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, CISA, to censor Twitter. But you mix up CISA, CISA, a Homeland Security Agency, with the Center for Internet Security, the CIS, which is a.
And like at that point, like he did, he got him on a technicality. But at this point, it's just like he's just racking up points.
Non-profit. In fact, you added an A to CIS. I think people could see it there in brackets to make that false claim. It's just error after error, Matt, on just this one topic.
An error. But the other ones aren't.
The
22 million number came from their own report?
Yeah, it came from a report in March. Do you know what the 22 million number is, Matt? Can you tell me? Because we checked. 22 million is the number of tweets about election misinformation that they just mapped. How many tweets were they? The ones they actually flagged to Twitter before the election, 22 million came after the election. It wasn't in the run-up. They flagged 3,000. So you were off by 21,997,000. It's another error.
They've said a lot of things. I stand by my story.
You stand by what? You stand by 22 million were flagged in the run-up to the election.
Like this has to be a violation of terms of service, right? Because we are literally watching a murder right here.
So that number came in March 2021, which was after the election.
No, this came in their report after the election.
Which was about some total of tweets that they counted on the election. What they flagged to Twitter was 2,980 tweets, I believe. So that's nowhere near 22 million.
Come on,
what? You got something wrong. You got CISA wrong. Why did you add A? Okay, Matt, why did you add A in square brackets? Do you understand why people worry about?
I actually thought that.
And why didn't you fix it? I just checked the tweet before I came on air. It's been 3 weeks since it was flagged to you. Why not fix it? Do you not have editors at the racket?
I didn't realize that until now.
Okay, and what about the date? You got the date wrong when it was founded. You said it was founded in response to the Disinformation Board. That was last year.
Well, because Stamos is saying in the video that we were sort of created to fill the gaps.
No, that's not what you say in the tweet. That's not what you say in the tweet.
The SIO was created in 2018.
No. You say, this is what you say, that the EIP was created after the public uproar paused the Disinformation Board. That's wrong. You need to correct that as well, don't you?
After the...
That's what your words, you say, to quote you. After public uproar paused the Orwellian Disinformation Governance Board, Stanford created the EIP. That's wrong.
Well, that's what they say.
You don't need sources, Matt. You could check the EIP website. It says it was created in 2020.
Well, that's the date that I just said.
And the Disinformation Board was 2022.
Okay. All right. Well, then that is an error.
Okay, so let's talk about Elon Musk. We'll talk about Twitter files. You have talked about why you don't want to reveal that he's your source, even though he's basically outed himself as his source. I get that you don't want to reveal your source as you're a journalist, but Barry Weiss has outed him. He's outed himself. What's interesting about Elon Musk is that we checked. You've tweeted over 30 times about Musk since he announced he was going to buy Twitter last April, and not a word of criticism about him in any of those 30-plus tweets. Musk is a billionaire who's been found to have violated labor laws multiple times, including in the past few days. He's attacked labor unions, reportedly fired employees on a whim, slammed the idea of a wealth tax, told his millions of followers to vote Republican last year, and in response to a right-wing coup against Bolivian leftist president Evo Morales, he tweeted, "We'll coup whoever we want." And yet you've been silent on all of that. How did you go, Matt, from being the scourge of Wall Street, the man who called Goldman Sachs the vampire squid, to being unwilling to say anything critical at all about this right-wing reactionary anti-union billionaire?
Hello? Am I still on?
Yes, you're still on. I'm just wondering how come you've never criticized Musk despite all that?
Look, so I like Elon Musk. I met him. This is part of the calculation when you do one of these stories. Are they going to give you information that's going to make you look stupid? Do you think their motives are sincere about doing X or Y? I didn't. I thought. I mean, I did. I thought his motives were sincere about the Twitter files, and I admired them. I think he did a tremendous public service in opening the files up. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with him about everything.
I agree with you, but you never disagree with.
He's been famous since Occupy Wall Street. He most recently did the Twitter files where he was given information who requested what in for Twitter to take down, right? And he's appeared before Congress testifying about that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
With him, you've gone silent. People would say that's access journalism.
No, I haven't reported anything that limits my ability to talk about Elon Musk.
So will you criticize him today for banning journalists, for working with Modi government to shut down speech, for being anti-union? You can go for it. I'll give you as much time as you like. Would you like to criticize Musk now?
No, I don't particularly want to. Look, I didn't criticize him really before, and I think that what the Twitter files are is a step in the right direction.
But it's the same Twitter that he's running right now.
I disagree with him. If you want to ask, I think.
Understood, Matt. Well, I'll ask you a specific one.
No.
It's not in bad faith, Matt. Sorry. You say that Twitter. Hold on. Let me finish my question. You're saying that he's good for Twitter and good for speech. I'm saying he's using Twitter to help one of the most right-wing governments in the world censor speech. I will criticize that. Will you?
I have to look at the story first. I'm not looking at it now.
Hold on. I posted the story 2 weeks ago. You tweeted at me.
I don't watch the Mehdi Hassan show.
You do, actually, you do, because you tweeted at me saying, "Invite me on the show, and I'll tell you my views." Here you are. What is your view? There it is. There it is. Look. Yeah, and you said, "Look, we'll read your words." Why don't you invite me on your show to talk about it, since you're so absolutely sure of what I'll say? You're right. I'm not sure. What is your view on Musk working with Modi to censor speech?
That's what you ask him about the particulars about it. But listen, this came up the first time. I think it was Twitter Files number 6, when you said after this was a big one that we had done about the relationship between Twitter, the FBI, and the DHS. And as that story came out, you were giving me a hard time about tweeting through it. I think was the quote. Essentially, you said. So essentially, you're arguing that this information was not in the public interest, that I somehow shouldn't have done this story that I'd worked hard on because Elon Musk tweeted something? You don't think that story was in the public interest? No, I said he banned journalists. I think hold on, Matt. If you're doing a story about free speech on Twitter and the head of Twitter bans journalists, I think most people, by the way, Barry Weiss, your partner in crime on that, your colleague, your reporter, sorry for that euphemism, your reporting colleague, she actually did call him out. So it's weird that Barry Weiss had more integrity on that, some might
argue, your critics might say, than you did. Look, we're running out of time. You don't want to talk about India, that's fine. You can go away and research it, but you volunteered to come on the show to talk about it. I got to ask you about the clip on Joe Rogan. You've seen the clip. It was mentioned at Congress. I do want to get your response to it. Can we play the clip of you telling Joe Rogan about how you should deal with sources who give you information? Let's play that clip.
With any kind of journalist, like once you start getting, handed things, then you've lost. You know what I mean? They have you at that point, and you got to get out of that habit. It's like, or you can't cross that line.
So per your own words, Matt, you crossed that line and Musk has you. Those are your words.
The hilarity of this coming from MSNBC, which did nothing but vomit up fake Russiagate stories that came straight from the FBI for 6 consecutive years that you guys still haven't apologized for.
Great. I wasn't there in that period, so I've got nothing to apologize. I'm asking you your words. Did you cross a line? It's a very simple question. You can what about and deflect. It's a simple question. We played a clip for you. I'm giving you a chance to answer. Did you cross the line? Your words.
No, I did not. The stories are self-contained stories that hold up in themselves. And what I was talking about in the Joe Rogan story, I was quoting a passage from Seymour Hersh's book, Reporter, when he was talking about when he was given a story by the CIA about an Israeli spy that they had caught. And he was saying something to the effect of, I, who had always gotten the material, was being handed the material. So, yeah, look, it sounds bad, but this stuff is clearly in the public interest. It's real. It's true. And I'm doing the best I can to report it.
I'm doing the best I can.
The question is, the test you always have with your sources is whether or not this stuff is in the public interest and whether it's accurate. And apparently I've gotten like one thing wrong or a few things wrong, but mostly I think these stories are going to hold up over the test of time, unlike your Russiagate story.
So let me ask you this, Matt, and you're going to say this is a bad faith question, but let me just be clear. I'm not questioning your work ethic. You keep saying you seem to be offended. I'm sure you work very hard. I was a big fan of yours for many years. I've always admired your writing, and which is why I have to ask this last question, which you're going to say in bad faith, but I promise it is. It's genuinely as a former fan. You tweeted in response to Jim Jordan, and you started the interview saying, oh, my journey. You have been on a journey for many of us. You said it was an honor. Thank you, Chairman Jim Jordan. It was an honor. A lot of people think that sounded a bit fawning to one of the most right-wing members of Congress. Later, you meet Ted Cruz.
I don't think it's an honor to be invited to Congress.
Who calls you a true patriot. He calls you a true patriot, and you're all looking very intense in that picture. I wonder, when you met Ted Cruz, did you tell Ted Cruz that how you wrote in 2015 that he has, quote, big doses of Tea Party energy, and in 2018 that he's like an incurable skin condition? Do you understand why, Matt, those people who have read your stuff find it amazing now, the people you are?
Ted Cruz knows what I've written about him over the years. He knows that I talked about him as, I described him as having a face like a waterlogged Reagan mask sewn together at gunpoint. He knows all that stuff. But that's the point. This is America. We don't have to agree all the time. I don't have to like them these people all the time. They're on this issue. They're giving oxygen to something that I think is important, that I think a lot of people is important. And if he wants to meet me, that's fine. If Jim Jordan wants me to come talk in front of Congress, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to answer questions. If I'm wrong about something, I'm happy to answer that too. But
I guess where we disagree is
that I'm committing some kind of a capital offense by testifying in Congress about my own reporting, answering questions factually, and meeting these people is ridiculous.
I guess where we disagree, Matt.
It is an honor to talk to Congress. It was an honor to talk to Congress, and I'm proud that I did that.
I mean, not every congressional committee is an honor to appear in front of. I'm pretty sure it wasn't an honor to be invited when people were invited to the House Un-American Activities Committee. I mean, this is the point, Matt. The context, and we're out of time, sadly, but the context is that the Republicans are banning books and threatening the press. Ron DeSantis is threatening to get rid of anonymous sources.
Again,
and you're telling us
mentioning something that I didn't write about. How many things
I didn't say you wrote about it. Well, exactly. That's the problem, that you seem to think the Democrats, not the Republicans, are a big threat to speech, and I just don't see it. I wish we had more time to get into that, but we spent a lot of time.
Are you crazy? I mean,
I would-
you don't think the Democrats are a threat to speech? Have you been paying attention?
Yes, I think all politicians are a threat to speech. But in this country, if you think the Republican Party is not the biggest threat to speech, then I don't know what to say to you. Maybe you should log off a bit and go to Florida. We have to disagree. We'll have to disagree on that. I think the black voter
He told them to touch grass.
who was arrested in Florida, or the woman arrested for taking an abortion pill, might not say that Cat Turd 2 being de-amplified was the biggest story of the year. But we will have to leave it there, Matt. Thank you for appearing on the show.
What about the Hunter Biden story?
Appreciate your time. I don't think I've ever written about the Hunter Biden story, so maybe you should apologize to me for putting words in my mouth. You said at the beginning I put words. I never said a word about the Hunter Biden story, but we will be right back.
Don't say I never give you blood sports. Don't say I never give you blood sports. Oh, that was an absolute murder. All right. Why is all that relevant? Arun, if you're still there, whenever you're ready, you want to slide into the. There he is. And let's see if I have to restart. I do not. That's good stuff.
I'm gonna turn my camera off right now.
Okay.
Because I've been basically like running around all day. Just for full disclosure, like I've been running around all day trying to get like, I mean, I've been busy with work. That's one, and while like intermittently, like while my code was running and I was testing it, like I've been trying to get people like ready for, like I've been trying to wrangle people for my May stream, my middle of the May stream, which is. To raise awareness about the Tamil genocide going on in Sri Lanka at the moment. So I've been running around doing that I've been trying to do that. I've been writing emails. I've been reaching out to people, that sort of thing. So it's like I haven't really had time to do much at all, much of anything today. So
You're good.
yeah,
I got no problem.
all right. Sounds good.
How you doing otherwise?
I'm doing okay. Picking fights with Indian conservatives, as always. Picking fights with Sanghees and stuff. And Sri Lankan nationalists. So, life's good.
Keeping up the good fight. Nice to see it.
So yeah, we wanted to talk about like censorship in India. So, the thing with censorship in India, right? So I will be perfectly honest, I had not watched that video until like you showed it. I had not watched the Matt Taibbi video. I don't even know. I barely know who Matt Taibbi is,
right?
Because I've seen him around, but he's just like one of those journalists. He's one of those guys that you just like know he's like in the circuit. He's in that sort of sphere, but you don't know much about him. So that's my understanding of who he is, right? But as far as Twitter basically caping for the Modi government, that's like the least surprising thing in the world. Like every country is basically every company in the United States, like every multinational tech corporation is absolutely running interference for the Indian government. They run interference for every world government. That's how they're able to sustain profits. Like that's not even a question.
Right. I think one of the in that video, he makes the point about how with flagging NPR as U.S. state media, that happened very quickly. According to Mehdi, basically overnight. Elon's response whenever questioned about Let me just bring up one of the articles so I can, I don't want to misquote our Lord and Savior Elon Musk.
Oh God.
Yeah, here. So, India, the third largest market for Twitter after the U.S. and Japan, is proving to be one of its biggest challenges. Twitter's biggest challenges. Responding to a tweet about censorship in India, Elon Musk, who completed a takeover of Twitter in October and calls himself a free speech absolutist, tweeted, "It is not possible for me to fix every aspect of Twitter worldwide overnight while still running Tesla and SpaceX, among other things." And it's also like, apparently Twitter India, back before the sale, was at least fairly good at pushing back on the government. But since the sale, he laid off 90% of the staff, and they're much more compliant now.
Which article are you referring to?
I'm referring to
Is it what's the name of the outlet? Like Intercept, TechCrunch?
Yeah,
Guardian?
yeah. I'm looking for the I think it was the Intercept article indicated the 90%. Yeah, if you scroll down that article, Modi's government tried,
Yeah. Musk has consistently characterized his acquisition of Twitter as a triumph of free speech. Yeah, bullshit. I mean, like, you and I both don't need to, like, actually mince words. We both know what, like, Elon really meant by that.
Right.
Like, he's, like, freedom of speech if you're a conservative. That's basically what he fucking meant.
Right.
Because, like, and also, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, in terms of, like, general regulation of, like, Indian Twitter, listen, if you have not seen Indian Twitter and you think American Twitter is bad, you're in for a wild ride, my friends. You are in for a fucking wild ride. You have people just openly making racist. I just saw a racist meme this morning about, like, South Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like you have people openly making racist memes about people. Like, here's an example, right? So, wait, where is this? There's this liberal Hindu character. Hold on a sec, if I can find that dumbass. Hindu where is this? Oh, did they block me? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, I shit on them. They're fucking dumbass. All right, here's the. It's a rate. Okay, you can show it on screen, right? Like, I don't think you'll get in trouble for it. I give you the license to do it as a South Indian.
Okay.
I give you the license to show it as a South Indian. As a Tamil person. Basically, this person just openly posted on the timeline saying, like, yeah, no, North Indians are beautiful and South Indians are ugly, like, fill in the blank. Like, that's sort of what we're dealing with here. So Twitter, India is significantly less regulated. It is significantly worse than what you would imagine.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't even have to think too hard about it. It like, as soon as I opened it up, I got the vibe.
Yeah. So Aryan is basically like shorthand for, like, North Indian, right?
Right.
Dravidian is short for South Indian, basically. It's basically like, need I say more? Like, yeah. There was a meme that was both casteist, misogynistic, and racist all in one go.
Going for the trifecta.
No, it was just like, it is, like, insanely fucked up, like what they show. So this is just to demonstrate, like, how unregulated Indian Twitter is. You have like I literally said something, and I got like added by an account called Joseph Goebbels.
Oh God.
And so that like like oh wait, was it? And then there was another one that responded to me called Mr. Adolf. Like that was basically like taunting me. That was saying racist shit. Like, and one of the tweets, you can't show this one on stream, but it was basically so one picture, I'll describe it, was literally a picture of a war crime. It's gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the commander of the LTTE, of which, by the way, I'm not a fan.
Right.
But it is literally his dead corpse lying on the ground with a gun pointing towards his head, and there's a hole in it. Right? And there's blood everywhere.
Okay.
That was one picture that I got tweeted at. Another one was, remember when those ISIS videos popped out and they had like people blindfolded and like masked up?
Yeah.
And they had them on their knees and shit? And then the ISIS members were like they had them bagged and they had like them on their knees and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was that, but with a Tamil prominent leader's like by the name of Periyar's like face plastered on the victim, on like the hostage.
Right.
So this dude was literally like ISIS posting and like saying, "Oh, we're gonna come shoot you," like,
right,
like just openly, right? They were just good. They were just like, "Yeah, we're gonna come kill you," like. So that should give you an idea. Oh, I remember why those guys responded to me. I was making fun of upper castes.
Mm-hmm.
I was making fun of upper castes. So there's a word called Chutia in Hindi. I don't remember what it means. And there's a caste named Rajput, which is upper caste. So I was like, Rajput, more like Rajchut, right?
Okay.
You can kind of translate it as like Raj pussy or like Raj asshole or something like that. Right? I was just making fun of the caste name, and these guys were like, one guy named Adolf, Mr. Adolf, and another like was like, he called me Blackie in Hindi. Like he called me Kalu in Hindi. Like Kalu means Blackie. Like we're like Rajputs are like more powerful than you Blackie Dravidians or whatever. And then like the guy named Joseph Goebbels with the handle Joseph Goebbels was literally posting like ISIS memes and like the memes of like the LTT, like the literal like pictures of war crimes.
Right.
So that should give you a considerable idea of how unregulated Twitter India is.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Like I get it through the lens of your reposts, and like I didn't get that joke, and now I do, the one that you made. But like some of that shit is just absolutely off the chain. It is nuts.
Yeah, like that should give you an idea of how fucking unregulated this shit is. It's like it is obscene how bad it is. So yeah, like that's just like that should give you an idea of like what kind of people I'm working with here. But is it like the thing that we also have to like keep in mind is that like it's like yes, Twitter's obviously going to cape for the Modi government, obviously, but and like unfortunately, like for a lot of people, the For You, like recently in the For You column or like in the For You section, they were getting Op India articles, and Op India is basically, think of Breitbart plus the Daily Stormer rolled into one, except it's Indian.
Right.
That's basically what that is, right? It's basically like openly Hindu nationalist outlet. Think about it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Op India is literally a fucking like Op India is literally disgusting, right? They were literally like, they literally made up a story about human sacrifice in the Indian state of Bihar. That they just made up a story,
Right.
whole cloth. So that should give you an idea of like what kind of like journalistic integrity we're fucking working with here.
Yeah, and like there are severe wrong window. My shit is acting wonky. Okay. Like looking at the fourth article, the one from Slate, like they banned like access to like the entire country. And this is a direct, like Matt Taibbi's talking about like how they asked for them to take down like a picture or a post or whatever. Like Modi was able to call up Elon and say, "Could you just ban Pakistan real quick?" And he did it.
Yeah. I mean, like the Indian government has always been very authoritarian. It's not like a new thing, right? So a lot of people are like wondering, like, "Oh my God, Modi's super authoritarian." The thing that changed about Modi is that he's a Hindu nationalist, not that the government is significantly more authoritarian. That's not what changed. The Indian government has always been relatively authoritarian, especially if you look at like Indira Gandhi, especially, right?
Right.
Indira Gandhi literally just locked up so many political opponents, especially during like the time when Operation Blue Star was happening. So, for those of you who don't know, like Operation Blue Star was a historical event where I forgot the name of that guy. There's a what we call a Khalistani separatist. So these are separatists that wanted Punjab, the state of Punjab, and the former like lots of states that were considered Punjab but now are separate states, the Indian Punjab region. He wanted that to secede from India and create a separate Sikh state. Right?
Right.
So he wanted to create a separate state from India. Bhindranwale, yeah, that's his name, Bhindranwale. So what happened was Indira Gandhi wasn't having any of that. So Indira Gandhi literally sent the army into the Sikh religion's, like Sikhi's most holiest site, to literally put down Bhindranwale. Now, because at the time Bhindranwale that temple had a lot of pilgrims from all over the country, right? That place was packed. The Golden Temple, the Harmandir Sahib, right? Because the Golden Temple was basically like overwhelming, like it was it was overflowing with pilgrims. Thousands of people actually died at the hands of the Indian Army. So, and in order to clamp down on like freedom of speech, she locked up a lot of like, and this is not entirely related, but like she locked up a lot of like political prisoners, including later prime ministers. So Vajpayee was like locked up. The chief minister of my home state was locked up. So India has always been an authoritarian country for a long time, right? It's always been a relatively authoritarian country. It's not as bad as something you would expect like China or North Korea, right? It's not nearly as bad as those, like it's not to that level, but it's always been a sort of authoritarian country for sure. But what's changed with 2014 is that you have a Hindu nationalist that is in power, and you have a lot of ground support for that Hindu nationalist, unfortunately. And that leads to a very dangerous atmosphere for journalists. For example, there was a journalist by the name of Gauri Lankesh who was literally assassinated outside of her home. This was in Karnataka, by the way. So Gauri Lankesh was assassinated 3 years into Modi's presidency.
Okay.
And this is not the first incident of people being locked up. Another example is, so this person wasn't killed. She wasn't killed, but she was thrown in jail for being an activist. Tista Setalvad, who tried to get basically justice for the victims of the 2002 Gujarat riots.
Right.
She was thrown in prison, right? Another example is a guy that was thrown in jail, Siddiq Kapan, who was just recently released, right? Siddiq Kapan went to the state of Uttar Pradesh in order to report on a gang rape that happened there of a Dalit girl, of a Dalit minor.
Mm-hmm.
And once he went, he was arrested and thrown in jail for about 1.5 years. And he was just recently let out on bail. On trumped-up charges, by the way.
Right. This is related to the law that allows them to just basically arrest anybody for any flimsy pretext around like being a terrorist or anything.
So Siddiq Kapan wasn't arrested on UAPA. He wasn't arrested on UAPA. It wasn't that. It was no, he was actually no, he was. Sorry, I was wrong. He was. So he was arrested under the UAPA, yes. So the UAPA is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act.
Right.
So it basically is a very draconian law passed by the Indian government that allows people to arrest on suspicion.
Yeah, that's wild.
On suspicion of terrorism, basically.
Yeah, that's absolutely like the Patriot Act on steroids. It's a caricature of what an authoritarian government does. You know what I mean? It's like it's that level of just like, no, we're just going to arrest you, and throw you in jail, and you're going to disappear, and we equate that with states like the former when South Africa and picking up somebody like Mandela and other countries like that. It's like this is high key authoritarianism.
Oh, that's actually, by the way, that's nothing. By the way, like this is like India has the UAPA, but Sri Lanka is about to pass the anti-terrorism bill. Which is significantly worse. So basically, what the anti-terrorism bill does is it allows the military to make the arrests. It allows the military in Sri Lanka to make arrests.
Okay.
It takes away power from the courts. Basically, now the courts have to ask the cops and the executive branch for a reason to keep them in jail. Like, that people can be kept in jail so long as the executive branch of the Sri Lankan government is able to provide even a half-assed reason for why that person should be in jail. And on top of that, the anti-terrorism bill in Sri Lanka adds the death penalty.
Right.
So, again, the UAPA is very draconian, but it's nothing compared to, like, what is going on in Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that law is, like, it is basically run by, like, it is an aristocracy with the military effectively as its enforcement wing. That's it.
Right. Right. And something I noticed, like, in the first article, the one from The Intercept, is that Punjab is like basically a police state. It's like it's just on like complete lockdown.
Yeah, so it goes back to two reasons. So the reason Punjab is, it's, by the way, don't say Punjab. It's Punjab.
Sorry. Punjab?
It's, yeah, Punjab, like Pun. Yeah, Punjab, yeah.
Got it.
So the reason Punjab is a police state, right? Is again, it's the Operation Blue Star incident that I mentioned earlier, where there is a bout of separatism, which is kind of lingered in Punjab to this day. You have I forgot his name already. You have a Sikh separatist in Punjab that is basically on the run right now. That's why they've basically turned Punjab into a police state, especially recently. So part of it is due to that sort of separatist streak. The other thing is, Punjab is one of the original sites of the farmers' protests.
Right, and
that happened in 2020.
Yeah, that I thought was really relevant to what you had covered before. This is, the same anarchist, like real anarchist without the Russian theory kind of anarchist, thing that you covered previously on yours.
Yeah, it's praxis basically. Yeah.
Right.
It's mutual aid. It's like it is the theories of mutual aid. Dual power, decentralization put into practice. And it's obviously not in Punjab. It's not only in Punjab, but it was spread across from Punjab to Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Delhi, a lot of North Indian states as well.
So they've been a police state within the state for, what are we talking, like 60 years now? More?
60 years? Wait, 19...
When was Indira Gandhi?
80s.
80s, okay. So,
80s, yeah.
So 45 years-ish, okay. But still, that's a long-ass time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been under massively tight control in the sense of like it is a police state, but it's a police state for sure, but it has had like peaks and lows, let's put it that way.
Sure.
So there are times where there is increased police presence, and then there are sometimes there were less police presence, basically. To my knowledge, again.
Right. And I noticed within that article that like they said that the dude was on the run. He there was this alleged CCTV video of him wearing a mask and without a turban on, and like,
yeah.
Why is it, do you know why it's important, like, for this to get this guy right now? Like, what, or is it just like an ongoing thing that just kind of happened?
So Amrit Pal Singh is his name. So Amrit Pal Singh, the reason they're going after him especially is because the current Aam Aadmi Party. So Punjab had their election like last year. So they had their state election last year, and this party called the Aam Aadmi Party won, which was an absolute fucking disaster for the state, right? It's just been a massive case of mismanagement from the Aam Aadmi Party, and for the most part, because of that, mixed with the farmers' protests, this Amrit Pal Singh character has basically managed to amass a lot of support in Punjab, especially recently. He's managed to amass a lot of support, basically by becoming a separatist, effectively. So that's why Modi's doing everything he can to crack down on the separatists, basically.
Okay. And is this like the party that is mismanaging it? Are they like allied to the BJP, or are they like a third thing, or?
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, Aam Aadmi Party. how do I even explain what this is? So the Aam Aadmi Party is a populist liberal party.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to an American ear. It
Right.
does not make any fucking sense, right? The reason for that is, so basically, when the Aam Aadmi Party is actually a relatively recent party. It's a new party, and their strongest presence is in the capital, Delhi. And the reason that they managed to get super prominent is due to the welfare schemes that they basically, like, the social safety nets that they were providing to the Delhi population.
Okay.
Sort of the direct aid that they were providing to the Delhi population. That's why they gained in popularity. It was originally started off as, because again, like, at the time, the two major prominent parties were, again, like BJP, Congress, right?
Right.
So this guy was presenting himself as an alternative to both of them, right? And in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party literally faced off against Congress and won, right? Because Congress has been a staple within Punjab politics for a long time. So they're like, all right, enough is enough.
Right.
But yeah, so this Aam Aadmi Party is, they're not allied with Modi, but they've done some really dumb things. They've done some, in terms of marketing, let's put it this way.
Okay.
In terms of outreach, they have done some impossibly stupid things.
All right.
So let me give you an example of one of the party's proposals. This is like this is mathematically the worst proposal I've ever seen. Okay, so he was like, the leader of the Aam Aadmi Party was like, why don't we stick Lord Ganesha and Goddess Saraswati on the Indian rupee bills? And for no reason, for no fucking reason.
Like, we're just gonna change the.
He
money
wanted to
because-
be like, oh yeah. He was trying to be like, oh yeah, I can be more Hindu than the BJP. I'm more Hindu than the BJP, which was impossibly stupid. Like, Congress tore him apart for that, because it's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you sticking a God's, like, on a money,
Right.
on a bill? And then, like, this is supposed to be a secular country. What the fuck's wrong with you? And then the BJP was able to, like, successfully roast him, because, like, yo, you realize that these gods are gonna be on bills that are traded in fucking liquor stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck you guys. Like, which is like, that was like, so they're very good when it comes to, like, direct welfare schemes. They're decent when it comes to direct welfare schemes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on, like, marketing, in terms of, like, you know, electoral politics, they're goofy. They're genuinely goofy.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have the game.
They don't have it. Which is, like, it's impossibly stupid. But yeah, that's why when they got elected to Punjab, it was like, oh no, this is gonna get really bad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's gonna get super fucking bad.
And they don't. If their election was last year, then it's going to be like another 4 years before they have an
5.
election. 5 years.
It's gonna be 5 years.
So.
Yeah, the next Punjab election is gonna
Jeez.
be in 2027. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna fucking suck.
Speaking of elections, is there any news, anything going on with the Karnataka election?
So Karnataka election, so basically we're getting ready for it. It's not actually going to happen in April.
Right.
The actual poll is going to happen in May.
Okay.
It's going to happen in May. I think May 10th is the actual poll date. And that is going to be a fucking mess of an election.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be, yeah. So the last date for filing nominations is going to be the 20th of April.
Okay.
The last date for withdrawal of candidates is going to be 24th of April. The date of poll is going to be May 10th, 2023, and the date of counting is going to be May 13th, 2023.
Okay.
So the actual election is going to happen in May.
And have you seen anything that indicates how things might go? Any polling, anything like that?
So basically, you have some Kannada actors in Karnataka that are moving towards BJP. And as far as polls are concerned, I think I saw a poll where Congress is favored to win, but I don't know how reliable that is quite yet. I don't know how reliable that poll is just yet. Like, I've seen polls on Twitter basically saying like Congress might win, but it's not entirely, it's still up in the air. And the other thing to keep in mind is that like even if you have polls, you really can't know who is going to win until all the dust has been settled. Because last year what happened was the BJP basically stole the election right from under the nose of Congress and Janata Dal Secular. So there's something called Operation Lotus, and the reason is Operation Lotus is the Operation Lotus, Operation Kamala, which is basically in 2008 what they did was they basically formed a government after 7 MLAs basically switched parties. In Karnataka in 2019, what happened was Kumaraswamy won. So the Janata Dal actually won in Karnataka, and BJP actually switched. Like, they managed to buy MLAs from the Janata Dal and basically absolutely destroy they managed to basically buy the election at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it in 2008. They did it in 2019. Or sorry, they did it in 2017 or 2018. Excuse me. Yeah, they did it in 2018. And again, you can't know for sure how it's gonna play out until all the dust is settled.
Right.
That's the problem with the Karnataka elections.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested. Like, things every so often, like there was the election we had here in Wisconsin, the election in Chicago, and things go in like a positive direction for once, and I get that little bit of hope, and like I hope it's something that's going to like be an indicator, because you always hear about like the rise of global authoritarianism that has happened over the past period of time, and then you see these, like what's happening in France right now with with their protests, and the protests in England, and it's just like you see these little indicators of people pushing back, and I feel that same way about the Karnataka election. Like I want it so bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Karnataka is Karnataka is like a test lab for the BJP in the South.
Right.
There is the former chief minister of when Andhra Pradesh was undivided, when it was before Telangana existed, the former chief minister of Andhra Pradesh just recently joined BJP. Yeah, Kiran Kumar Reddy literally joins BJP, which is, I mean, Kiran Kumar Reddy is like, no one really gives a shit about him.
Okay.
Because he's not really like, no one really cares about him because he's not really he's really not in the running for Andhra Pradesh or Telangana for that matter. But it is a sign of like them trying to enter it's a sign of the BJP trying to enter Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, but I don't think it's going to be as effective as they think it is. But yeah, I genuinely hope that like the thing that's tough about Karnataka is that unfortunately BJP does have grassroots support there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that's super tough about Karnataka. It's just that like they have grassroots support there. It's super hard to like fight that. Congress needs to do a good job of like upping their ground game, and Kumaraswamy and Siddaramaiah need to they need to like work together to like topple the BJP. There is a possibility though, which would be very interesting. I've heard from the grapevines that the two opposition members, the opposition leaders, Siddaramaiah and Kumaraswamy, are potentially going to form a regional party in Karnataka.
Okay.
Now, the reason that's significant is regional parties in India have actually been very good at keeping out the national parties because they have a more entrenched base within the local parties, right? They have a more entrenched like root within the state itself, right. So, for example, in Tamil Nadu, the two main parties are regional parties. They're DMK, ADMK, right? In Andhra Pradesh, the two main parties are Telugu Desam Party and YSR Party. In Telangana, the main party is BSR, TSR, right? Like those are the three main parties that have like they've kept out national politics for a long time because again they have a better understanding of, or like they are more capable of directly relating to their electorate than the national parties are. So if, and this is a big if Kumaraswamy and Siddaramaiah literally form a party together, that would be a very effective tool to fight again. And again, it largely depends on how that party is run, but that theoretically has the ability to really rout the BJP.
Right. Any indicators on like is this something that's in the works, or is it just like
it's just I've just heard it on grapevines.
I got you.
It's not anything official or anything like that, but it is a possibility.
Well, here's hoping. I need the BJP to take a loss.
Well, okay. Well, if it makes you feel better, right, and it should, right? They lost 60 seats in the largest state of India last year.
Yeah, no, that's a win. I like that.
That's huge, right? They lost, like their strength in one of their strongholds is gone, right? It's like they lost a bunch of their MLAs to the Samajwadi Party, and on top of that, so recently there is a sort of united front against the BJP that is being headed by the DMK, my party's home state. If that's the case, then they might be very effective at fighting the BJP.
No, that sounds great. Give me more of that.
Potentially, we'll see. Although the DMK is doing stupid shit in my state as well, so like they literally just they're privatizing certain buses in my state, which is dumb.
Oh god.
Yeah, like as much as like you can praise the DMK for a lot of stuff, their finance minister is a through and through neolib, right?
Right.
Like literally former banker. So
And the public transport system is quite extensive, right? All over India. Like I saw you posted that on Twitter where somebody like overlapped Texas over Europe and was like, let's stop talking about European rails. And then you dropped India and like everything is connected by rail, you know, it's like, it's impressive, right?
yeah, I mean, the best part was that railway system was laid down like 150 some odd, 185 years ago.
Right.
But yeah, it's not just like it's not just the railway system, right? That's there.
Mm-hmm.
You have like metros in Bangalore and Chennai and certain. You have metro train systems. You have buses that people take all the time. You have the auto system. So you have like I guess what you call them tuk-tuks. We have auto rickshaws, public auto rickshaws, government paid auto rickshaws.
Okay.
That are like very cheap transportation, right? Again, it's not like whatchamacallit. It's not like I'm pretty sure they don't emit as much like gas as like a car does.
Right, because they're like a motorcycle-y kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a motorcycle, right? Most people drive on motorcycles anyways,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is a motorcycle-heavy country. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the public transportation of India. I mean, yeah, there's definitely like sanitation issues and shit, obviously, but that's largely due to like that's a systemic sanitation issue that is linked back to casteism, right? That's linked back to caste. But yeah, no, public transportation in India is significantly better than the US. Are you crazy? Like, it's significantly better, not even close. Like, my parents and I take public transportation all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever we go to India, it's not even close. We either just walk or we take public transport
Mm-hmm.
in India. It's not even close.
And are there private sector options? Like, I would assume.
Yeah. So you do have Lyft. You do have sorry, you don't have Lyft. You have Uber. You have Ola, which is India's version of Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
You have like a shit ton of. India has like a lot of the same stuff you would expect. Like,
Sure.
it has like Ola. It has like Uber. It has like apps that are meant to. It has apps that are meant to like. There's a, It has apps for public transportation and whatnot. It has metros and stuff like.
Right. But people, people use and prefer the public transport system, even with its, flaws that need to be addressed. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, like obviously, the tuk-tuks, the auto rickshaws, like they're like, if America had auto rickshaws, like in America would be a significantly better place in my opinion.
Okay.
It'd be a significantly louder place. It would be a significantly louder place for sure. But I'd much rather have auto rickshaws on the road than like fucking cars everywhere.
Right.
So yeah. Damn. Is there anyone in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just quiet.
Yeah.
It's my fault. Like, people show up and they.
This happens all the fucking time. It's just like Sandy was like, yo, you have like a voice when people just like, when you speak, people just kind of just stop and listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's kind of a blessing and that's kind of a curse.
Right, like it's challenging on Twitch, right? Because I got the same vibe. People always telling me, "Yeah, no, I listen to you while I'm at work. I have you on while I'm at work. Like you're there, and like they care, they want the content, but they're not like in the chats firing it up and like that."
Yeah, it's kind of hard because like the onus is on you to do a lot of the stuff, but you know. You sign up for it, you know.
Right, right. Like, especially like we both do a kind of educational content. Like we are, as much teaching people about stuff as anything else, so that they have the information and like that. So, like that teacher mentality and that student mentality kicks in, and they sit in class and they're very attentive, and and they participate when the participation time. I think it's kind of like a blessing and a curse that I don't have chatters who try to abuse me the way that your chat takes shots at you.
Oh no, it's more like okay, to be fair, those guys are like fucking joking around. They're not like out.
Yeah. No,
yeah, they're joking around. They're not out to get me or anything.
Right.
But no, I have had a couple of shitters in my chat.
Mm-hmm.
Clovis microwaves none.
I'm done. I'm over. That's it. I'm canceled. I'm gonna be microwaving Dosa next, and that's it. I'm just done. I can never enter an Indian home or a restaurant ever again.
That's just Arun slander, honestly. That's just slander. Oh God.
So, you've got your Remembrance Day coming up in May. When is that again? The 20.
So we're
24th?
still trying to figure this out. I'm still getting things together.
Sure.
The original plan is May 18th, but
May 18th.
That's Thursday. We may move it to May 20th. Just a heads up, because it's a weekend. So for those of you who don't know what this is about, so on May 18th, 2009, that was the end of the Sri Lankan Civil War. And that civil war ended in a lot of war crimes committed against the Tamil civilian population. And ever since that happened, people commemorate that day as Mulivaikal Remembrance Day because it was ended in a town called Mulivaikal. So people commemorate their dead there. So I figured this would be a wonderful time to raise awareness about what is going on in Sri Lanka. And the reason for that is, in basically what has happened in Sri Lanka for decades is you've effectively have an apartheid state. You very much effectively have an apartheid state, plus war crimes that have happened in Sri Lanka. It is a systematic genocide. It is like, if I show you the evidence of what actually happened during those war crimes, right? And I show you what actually happened, that is pretty much a clear-cut, open and shut case of genocide. That's not even a question.
Right.
So, but the thing is, there's no coverage about this. And it's because, again, Globus, do you want to pull up that image again? that one image.
Right.
That's all. That one fucking image. That image speaks 1,000 words. That's all. Like, That one fucking image speaks 1,000 words. There's a reason why you haven't really heard much about this. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Oh. Yep. That one image. That's all you need to see. That's why you've never heard of this. That's why you haven't heard much about it if you've heard anything at all. So on the left, those are all the countries that quite literally militarily assisted Sri Lanka during the Civil War. Do any of those flags look familiar to the audience? Do any of those flags look familiar? Just curious. So yeah, this issue doesn't get talked about at all. But there are egregious war crimes that have been committed against the civilian Tamil population. So that's the reason I'm dedicating one particular day to just setting this aside and being like, okay, guys, you need to listen to this. Like one day. Just come on, give me one fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
One day where you can sit down and listen to people that have seen this stuff, that have been through this stuff, that live on the ground. This is a genocide that doesn't get talked about.
And how's it going putting people together? Like, I know from, experience, just trying to get like regular folks together. But like, I know that you have reached out to, some people, and anything going on there, or you don't want
to? Progress is slow. Let's put it that way.
I got you.
Progress is slow. We're slowly putting things together. We still have a month and a half left.
Mm-hmm.
So we have roughly a month and a half left before, like, it's showtime, right? Before it's go time, right? But it is, like, I'm just doing whatever I can to, wrangle people in, one spot. That's
right.
Basically it. And it is going to be fucking hard. It is, but, it is going to be significant. I think it's going to be worth it. It's important. Because, there's no one else that's going to talk about this. And the other thing to keep in mind is that, I'm inviting people on and having them relive their trauma.
Right.
So I don't want them to relive their trauma to 3 fucking people.
Right.
That are never going to talk about this shit again. I don't want that to happen.
Right.
These guys, have been through hell, and I want them to get the respect that they fucking deserve.
Yeah, I want people to take it as seriously as you do as well. It not only chatters and viewers and like that, but streamers. This is something that they can put some weight behind, and I would like to see that. Especially those who have, significant followings. So we'll see, I hope it goes the way that you want it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll do whatever I can. I'll see whatever I can do, but
so for whatever Globe is telling you need to get on board with helping out Arun, take that for whatever it's worth. But yeah. So what's going on with Arun lately? What are you up to? How's your life?
I usually try. So my life is pretty okay. I mean, I usually try and keep my personal life very separate from what I'm doing here.
Sure.
Um, but I mean, as far as work is concerned, you know, work is grind. You know, we're working on like very important stuff at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're on a deadline and stuff. Been hitting the gym again, trying to get my diet back in order.
Right.
Which is kind of tough. But hopefully tomorrow I'll like properly fix it or something. Like, I'm probably just gonna make myself some. Like today I've been running around, haven't really been able to eat anything properly. But I'm probably just gonna eat some eggs. You know, make sure that I'm nourished and go get dinner with a friend probably tonight. Roughly, actually in an hour or so. I gotta go shower. Even though I showered earlier this morning, I gotta shower again. But yeah.
Yeah, you know I worry about, you know, my Twitch.
Yeah,
folks,
this stuff, I know, dude. This stuff does take a toll on me for sure. Like I was under like super. Last night, like I was under like fucking like I just needed to like it's like I'm under like it's because of like several things that are like going on. That's putting me like under stress, like trying to make sure that this audience is like good enough for the guests that I want to have on. Right? This is like because most of the guys that are gonna watch this are a Western audience, right?
Right.
Like they're not going to have ever known about like Sri Lanka or anything like that. So we have to introduce them to Sri Lanka. On top of that, you know, we have to make sure that like the stories that are going to be told on this program are absolutely like we have to make sure that like we just it is going to be a super hard execution. It's not like the execution is going to be very difficult. You have to like I'm also juggling people from like 2 entirely different time zones too, right? So it's going to be like there's some people that I want to bring on that are here in America. There's some people that I want to bring on that are in Sri Lanka and India. So the time zone is also a massive consideration that I have to think about when building this as well. So it's like this stuff is like been running around sending emails, sending Discord messages and stuff like that, saying like, hey, do you think this person would want to be a part of this? Please, could you be a part of this? Please, could you be a part of this? Please, could you, you know? Some have said yes, some have said no. But you know, it is what it is.
Right. And like you said, like some people don't want to relive trauma and like that, and you know, I completely understand that you know, but like by the same token, I hope more people are informed about it, more people learn about it.
One of the guys that's coming on is actually working on a project where he literally like has to recount everything that happened.
Right.
So he's working on that as well.
Yeah.
So like it's just like this project has literally been taking my headspace, like most of my headspace. So it's been like a wild fucking ride for me.
Well, I'm glad you're hanging out with somebody later and in the meat space and going to touch grass and get offline.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on before you go hit the shower?
I think I'm good for right now. Thanks for having me on as always. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. And I'll probably see you in your channel over the course, and then I'll see you back here on Friday.
Yeah. So my stream is tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time, like 10 a.m. I'm also holding a panel on. I'm holding a Dalit History Month panel on April 15th. So the Muli Vaikal stream is in the middle of May. The Dalit History Month panel is going to be next week, next Saturday, because April 14th is Ambedkar's birthday. April 15th is probably the next day I can stream. So that's when we're going to do it. Please show up to that one. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I'll see you soon.
See you.
All right, folks. Make sure you give a follow to Arun. There's a lot to learn about. And like, you know, fascinating cultures, interesting history, interesting current events, important stuff. Like the whole thing that we touched on before about how, like, you know, the way that they can very obviously influence Elon Musk and Twitter to, you know, do what they want, and yet somehow, like, things are different over here. And like Matt Taibbi's reporting on the Democrats, he's not talking about, you know, what Twitter does in Sri Lanka or in India. Like, you can see this separation, you can see the dichotomy. So it's important to understand these things. You live in a world, you don't live in a country, you live in a world. And, you know, this stuff is huge, and you should know. And like that. I got a bunch of stuff I have to get to. I appreciate everyone coming through today. What are you doing? I guess we'll raid Tellerx. I don't know what he's up to, but and make sure you're back here on Monday. Monday we're going to be doing a we're going to be talking about cyber socialism. We're going to be talking about what the economic future of an AI dominated, you know, world is going to look like. And I got so much stuff. I got so much stuff that I almost want to stream tomorrow to tell you about it. But I'm going to wait till Monday. You're going to wait till Monday. I will see you on Monday. All right. So make sure you're here. Make sure you're dialed in. Make sure you're ready. Big stuff. Tell all your friends. Tell the whole bunch. Eat some food like I'm going to do. Drink your water. Take your meds if you forgot. Shuggy loves you. And so do I.